Welcome to another episode of Have You Seen It? I am Charles, and I'm with my lovely co-host, Denise. She's been hanging down the fort here for the last 2 weeks, right? And I am back. I am back. I don't know if it's by popular demand, but I'm back.
Well, welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Welcome back.
So, Denise.
Yes.
What movie are you going to recommend for our audience today?
Okay, I am recommending a Hulu original, and the movie is called The Ledge, and it stars Brittany Ashworth, Ben Lamb, and Anais Pareo. I don't know any of these people, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Right.
This movie is about two girlfriends, Kelly and Sophie, who take a weekend trip to do some mountain climbing. So they go to this cabin resort. They're there settling in, so they can climb the next day. Well, as they are getting settled in, they hear a group of guys who have also come for the weekend to rent a cabin to do some climbing. So, the two groups get together and kind of, have a nighttime campfire, and they're just kind of talking, shooting the breeze and having some drinks, whatever. Well, there's always an alpha male in that male group, and this guy is kind of full of himself and a ladies' man and all of that. So he starts hitting on Sophie, and Kelly is not feeling it. So she's like, hey, we got an early morning. I'm going to go hit the sack. You guys stay up and do whatever. So her girlfriend and Mr. Macho Man kind of, trade some innuendo back and forth, and they kind of go to a, secluded area in the woods, kind of being frisky. Well, he gets a little too frisky, and she realizes, whoa, you need to pump your brakes. I wasn't trying to do all of that, but he is like, well, yeah, you are. So let's get with it. So basically, he's trying to sexually assault her.
Right.
So, she, slaps him in the face, and she screams. And so his friends hear the noise. They go to see what's happening. And she and the guy have a little tussle. She falls off of an embankment, but she falls pretty hard, and she's seriously injured. So the friends are like, hey, we can't just leave her here. She might be really, seriously hurt. And he's like, not my problem. And they're like, well, let's go at least check on her. Maybe we can call 911 and just say, hey, we don't know what happened, so that, we're not held responsible. Well, they realized that when she slapped him in the face, she scratched him. So now his DNA is under her fingernails. And dude is like, well, here's the evidence. I can't get rid of it, so we need to really get rid of her. And so he ends up killing her. So the friends are like, we didn't come here for all of that. Well, the girlfriend also heard some noise outside. So she gets her phone, got her little camera, and she's trying to look for a friend. She doesn't see anybody, but she comes across everybody and her friend, and she films them murdering her. So, of course, she's like, and of course, they hear her. So now we got a cat and mouse situation. She has just enough leeway to get back to the cabin, get her backpack on, and head for the mountain. And the mountain has kind of two ways that you can climb it. One is a little bit more challenging, and one is kind of more like just a hike. The guys are, on her tail. They take the easy way because they know she's trying to get to the top. She takes the challenging way because she's a little bit more experienced, has her gear and whatnot. But once they get to the top, that's when they begin to terrorize her. She is now stuck on a ledge, and she's got to figure out, how am I going to get out of this? So I'm going to leave that there because in the movie, I don't know how much of her climbing is,
Real.
or what, but I'm not a climber, so I'm like, would a climber do what she just did? Would a climber risk themselves in this way? But I thought it was a really interesting, little thriller, little suspense. You got people terrorizing you, and you're hanging on the ledge of a cliff. So I recommend that, if you don't have anything else to watch, it's not a long movie, 90 minutes-ish.
That is your wheelhouse.
Yes. And I enjoyed The Ledge. So check out The Ledge on Hulu. What do you have, sir?
My somewhat recommendation is going to be Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and a whole lot of people, right? Now, this movie, right, is the trilogy. It's the third part of the Jurassic World trilogy. So now the dinosaurs, lizards, bugs, prehistoric, all of them are in the world roaming free. And that's just not a good thing. That's not good. Ain't no way you can see that be good, right? Our heroes from the first two movies, Owen and Claire, played by Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, they are now living off the grid. And they're living off the grid with Macy Lockwood, who is played by Isabel Sermon. She is wanted by everybody in the world. Everybody's looking for her. And they're looking for her because she holds the secret to basically destroying or curing, right, what's happening in the world today. So that's where oldies and goodies come in at. Jeff Goldblum plays Malcolm, Dr. Grant, and Ellie, all them from the first movies come in, right? They are thinking that it's not the prehistoric animals are not the ones that actually are doing this. They are doing it, but they believe that it's man-made. And they believe that it's man-made by the new kids on the block, Biosync Genetics.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's who they believe who made it. Okay. Right? And they're also looking for Macy, right? Because they got a plan, and the plan is really not a good one for humankind.
Okay.
All right. So I love that they brought back some of the old characters. Like that Jeff Goldblum was awesome. Right. It was a lot of action in it. The climax was really good. Right. But I'm sick and tired of dinosaur movies. Go see it.
Okay.
Jurassic World Domination. And I didn't tell you all the plots because it is a lot of good Easter eggs in the movie. So go see it.
Okay. Thank you.
Who's your nailed it?
All right. My nailed it is the fancy footwork of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers from the movie Top Hat. Incredible, amazing, spectacular. I don't know how Ginger kept up with Fred, but she did it and did it beautifully. Just, if you've never watched Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers dance, this is one of their best movies. And the song Cheek to Cheek, that dance sequence was phenomenal. So that is my nailed it, the fancy footwork of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Hey, I wish I had a rhythm. My nailed it is the whole cast of Crazy Rich Asians. It was just a really good look in Asians that had a lot of money. And they were crazy, crazy, crazy rich. If you hadn't seen this movie, it's a gem, right? It's funny as heck, right? My nailed it is all the whole cast of Crazy Rich Asians.
All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, have you seen it, with Charles and Denise. And if you are a fan of Spotify, you can see us and hear us. But if you're just listening to one of the other platforms, make sure you give us that generous 5-star rating.
Audience, thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Have You Seen It? I'm Charles. This is my lovely co-host Denise, and we're out.
Bye-bye.